As the Senzo Meyiwa murder case continues, there are many different opinions, speculations, rumors, assumptions and imaginations. How do you think the state arrived at the 5 suspects who are being prosecuted? After the murder, it took the police quite a long time to come up with any sensible lead to the murder. Hundreds of people were interrogated. Many theories emerged, but as time went, the state and the police remained resolute to get deeper. They kept dismissing other versions of the story. On a number of occasions, detentions were made and suspects released after being exonerated not to be connected to the murder in any way. Eventually the police arrested 5 people, and the state has maintained grip on them despite their voluptuous insistence that they have no knowledge of the murder. Currently the 5 are standing trial to the murder. The case reached the crescendo. But even the late Senzo's own family is top among the people, believing that the 5 are innocent people and that the state just arrested people at random in order to cover up the real killers. This is a very popular theory. But wait. Why would the state parade innocent people just for the sake of it? If there is a killer out there, not among the 5, and the state knows him or her, why should the state shield him or her? Nobody seems to possess answers either. There is a theory that Senzo's girlfriend Kelly Kumalo knows who killed her boyfriend. Some even proceed to speculate that Kelly herself pulled the trigger. In the early years after the murder, there was a version that Kelly's in-law Long is the one who killed Senzo. But the police and the state have persistently shied away from these versions because they don't find sufficient leads. This triggers speculations that the state may have been bribed not to pursue the truth. If we assume that the state is bribed, we should be strong to believe Kumalo or Long would bribe all the state departments including the forensic. This is impossible. The two would have to bribe the entire police, the court and the criminal investigations units. Do you believe Kelly may have gone all the way to bribe everyone along this long way? This doesn't sound sensible at all. The entire case is centered on the 5 people who have been arrested and brought to court. Way forward. People must leave the state to do its job of prosecuting the 5. If they are not guilty, the court will not find them with a case at all. A person who is innocent can't be found with a case to answer. It is impossible. Remember, they will be interrogated and they will answer questions. All the people who were in the house will be interrogated. Even Kelly Kumalo will be interrogated as the case goes on. This is just the beginning, so people shall try to be patient. Let me open your eyes. At the scene of the crime, they did not find the gun that killed Senzo. But they found remains of the bullets pieces including the cartilage. The very bullets that killed Senzo. Do you know South Africa has a database of fingerprints including those of convicts? Just assume that the forensics collected swabs from the bullets that killed Senzo. And they collected the cartilage remains of the bullets too. And just assume that they sampled the fingerprints from the swabs. And took the fingerprints for examinations. Then after that, they entered them into the fingerprint database for comparisons. And then the fingerprints pointed at the 5 suspects as the people who touched the bullets before it was used on Senzo. What would you say? I know you may say, the 5 may have sold the bullets to the real person who pulled the trigger. But even that, aren't they the right co-accused people in the murder for selling bullets that killed someone? Just an assumption. So, this is the reason I believe we should follow the case patiently and without taking sides. There is an argument of the blood stains. Blood stains are an important evidence of murder. They indicate the nature of death being unnatural. But they do not seem to possess the trail of who possessed the bullet that killed the victim. There is another theory of mopping out blood stains. In this theory, people say, By the time the police arrived, they found the people at the house mopping the blood. However, I don't think this can be adjudged wrong act, even considering the threat of tampering with evidence. The forensic experts know that common people may be ignorant that certain actions can tamper with evidence. That is why they are careful at collecting samples that directly correlate to the actions of the crime. In this case, collecting swabs from the bullet pieces was more important than examining blood samples of the deceased. The bullet pieces exceed the blood samples in the real value when it comes to the job of collecting forensic samples for crimes. The forensics have little jurisdiction to interview onlookers unless it is necessary. It is the job of the police and prosecutors to interrogate eyewitnesses. There have been incidences where suspects have been apprehended after being pointed at by their colleagues inside prisons. This happens because sometimes criminals are interconnected and they work in gangs such that they know one another. So, if a crime takes place somewhere, fellow criminals know who did it. This is just an assumption too. That is why I am saying we have to be patient to understand more. Let's not judge as yet.